Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina. Today I'm going to be continuing the discussion video on Robert McKee's story. This is part 1, the story problem. So in this chapter, McKee talks about the lack of story craft. Now he was writing 20 years ago, so things have changed. There's more educational opportunities to learn about the craft of screenwriting, let's say. And a lot of that is because of his own story seminar, which is a weekend educational retreat where you sit in a chair and listen to him talk about story, and it costs about $1,000. And I would love to take it, but it's a little expensive right now, but maybe one day I'd love to do it. So in this first chapter, he writes about the lack of craft and that the old studio system had apprenticeships where young filmmakers would come in, or young screenwriters rather would come in, and filmmakers too, and learn the art of screenwriting, and that now there aren't a lot of educational programs. But this was 20 years ago, and there has been a lot since. I mean, I took a screenwriting class at my local community college, which was excellent. So there's been a lot of change, largely because of him and this book that he wrote. So he writes in this book that the ultimate aim for a writer is to create a good story told well. And he breaks that down into 2 different types of talent. Literary talent, meaning that you can construct beautiful sentences at will. And then the other component is story talent. You know, somebody who's barely literate can tell a great story. And according to McKee, the latter is rarer than the former, that true storytelling talent is a gift. So wherever you fall on the talent spectrum, and talent is a question that comes up in this, and it's not, I don't think he means it to discourage people, but he kind of makes the point that not everyone is good at this kind of thing. So if you're just starting out and you're wondering if you have talent, I would just say, don't worry about it. If you're working on something, you'll discover soon enough whether you have like any kind of knack for it or not. To develop your literary talent, you want to read a lot, obviously, and read good books. Don't just read what you're comfortable with. Stretch a little bit, and also, and I think it's interesting. Stephen King also recommended these, and I've been a fan of this for a very long time. Get yourself an old-fashioned grammar book. This is Warner's English Grammar and Composition. I swear by this book since I was teaching summer school, and this was the only text I had. This is all the basics that you're supposed to learn when you were in 8th or 9th grade that you probably forgot. I found this on eBay. This is the teacher's edition, so it's great because it has all the answers in red. I also have the classic Elements of Style by Strunk and White, and I still pull this out every time I have to use the verb lay. And this also gets into like what phrases to avoid and words that are misused. And you can find this online, but I like having the actual copy next to my desk. So think about what the essence of story is, from the films you watch, from stand-up comics who tell great stories, for friends and family members who are really good at storytelling. I think it's important to kind of look at that, and McKee is getting into this. So next week we'll be looking at the next chapter, which deals with the actual story structure. So this is just kind of a setup for that. So I'm going to keep reading and keep taking notes. And if you're on Goodreads, make sure to follow that discussion thread. It's pretty interesting. So keep working on developing your talent for story. Think about stories. Think about what makes a good story. Read a lot of good books. Read McKee's book. And keep writing, and you'll get better. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for visiting my haunted library, and I will see you soon. Bye.